Bosch GTS 10XC is an amazing machine. You can do quite a lot with it, but dust extraction is not the strongest point of this machine. This is because the blade mechanism tilts to 45 degrees, which makes it have a lot of space around the coupling between the table and the blade mechanism. Here I took some automotive insulation that is somewhat fireproof and has one side sticky, and stuck it between the blade cover and the table. I also added small pieces on the left and on the right to cover those holes. Disregard those pieces on the casted blade body. I tried to reduce the noise of the blade, but it really didn't help a single bit. So this is the other side of the blade assembly, and you can see on the bottom there is a huge opening that is also open and also allows for the dust to escape and reduces the suction of the whole thing. I tried to cover it with a small piece of insulation which sticks to the table on one side and floats freely on the other, but it doesn't work very well. You can see this view from the top. Most of the holes are covered, but sometimes this piece on the left gets in the way and touches the blade. So nothing bad actually happens when it does that. You just see little white marks on the blade because this side of the whole thing is very slippery and doesn't bind. What also helps is to make your own insert plate or buy a zero clearance insert plate. So you can make it from any piece of wood basically that's thicker than 11 millimeters. So mine was 18. I kind of had a hard time planing it down to 11, but basically ended up doing it with the blade itself. You can see it here, just holding it with one hand clamp and then setting the distance between the blade and the parallel guide to 11 mil did the job. It was somewhat dangerous, I must admit, but worked out just fine. And I actually got lucky and I didn't need any further sanding or standoff hex bolts that come on the default blade insert plate. So it basically just fit more or less perfectly right out of the saw. The only thing is that the blade doesn't actually come down 11 millimeters below the surface, so you can't just raise the blade and make the cut, especially if you want the riving knife to stay in place. So what I did is just did the cut through the board, and this way I now have a hole on the back that I need to plug. But I basically glued 10 millimeters over there with a piece of wood, glued a piece of wood in there, and now it's a very good insert plate, as you see. So that also helps with the dust removal. Now I see, I'd say, 7 times less dust than I used to when I'm sewing. And I'm using this setup, I think, for already maybe 5 meter or 10 meters of wood cut. So pretty happy with it and hope it helps.